Hello everyone, welcome back to Wandering with Jenny. I am so excited about today's video because we left Amman and we're heading to Petra. On our way, we're going to make two stops, one at Shobak Castle and at Mount Nebo. So stay tuned, it's going to be a great video. So our first stop was Mount Nebo, and I gotta tell you, I was completely blown away of the views here. Mount Nebo, if you're a religious person, you will know that this is where Moses was actually shown the promised lands and the lands that he could not touch. This is also the place where they said that Moses had died. The views from here are incredible. We weren't lucky enough. It was a bit of a hazy day, but if it's a clear day, you can actually see Jerusalem. You'll then come around and you will see the brazen serpent. Also, you definitely do not want to miss the church. It is gorgeous, really, really beautiful. You are also going to see where the old mosaic is, and it is extremely well preserved. Mosaic was huge in Jordan, and you could definitely see the work that went into it. It's beautiful. So next up on our trip to Petra was Shobak Castle. This castle it's amazing. I mean, for something that was built in 1115, I believe, or 1116, pretty sure it's 1115, I'll put it here. Again, the earthquakes did a lot of damage, but this place is stunning. The views from here are remarkable. Definitely another must stop. But before you even get up to the Shobak Castle, which is also known as Montreal, there is a little surprise. The smallest hotel in the world. It's actually a VW bug. It is so cute, and the little man that owns it is so adorable. Even the king of Jordan stopped by to see this cute little hotel. We have finally made it to Petra, and welcome to the Rose City. So once you get your ticket and you make your way through the entry gate, you are going to be approached by a lot of different people to ride an animal. Now, I will say this, yes, a horse is included in your pass. You will be expected to give a tip at the end of it. It's not that far, to be honest with you. I've seen people of all ages. I mean, even up to some people were in their 80s and 90s making this walk. So if you don't have a mobility issue, please take your feet. Don't use the donkeys, the horses, or the camels. Yes, I am an animal lover, but we were there for 2 days, and I gotta tell you, the treatment of these animals was it just wasn't right. So please do me a favor, if you can, use your feet. Or if you do have a mobility issue, there are golf carts that will take you. I do believe that they stick pretty much almost through the whole main trail. So even if it's just something where you want to go and see the Treasury, of course, everybody wants to see the Treasury, take a golf cart. The prices are not horrendous. Now, if you are spending 2 days here, I would suggest maybe for your first day to get a tour guide. The tour is from the entry to the Treasury, which is about 2.5 hours, sometimes 3, depending on how much the guide talks. but you can get a 2-hour guide, a 3-hour guide. You can get as many hours as you want. You can even get guides to take you throughout all the different areas inside Petra. But I would suggest, if you want to definitely learn more about Petra, to get yourself a guide. Our guide was phenomenal, and I will have all of his information in my blog below. So definitely, if you're looking for a guide, check him out. So once you enter the main gate, you are on the main trail. You're going to make your way through the Dijon blocks, which, if you look around, these were actually tombs and homes. The one thing that I was actually kind of blown away with was that inside the homes, they actually buried their loved ones and slept over top of them. They did eventually stop doing this and had burial areas for them, but that was actually the beginning of the burials for the people that lived here. Next up is the dam. Now you're going to actually see, as you're walking into, before you hit the Sikh area, a luscious green, beautiful little area. This is where actually all the water comes down through the mountains and ends up in this area, and that's why it's so lush and green. But this dam was actually built to stop massive flash flooding from happening, and it's actually been expanded. Obviously, you definitely want to stop the flash flooding from happening inside of Petra. Next up is the Sikh. Now, if any of you have been to Utah, this is kind of going to look a little familiar. It is almost the exact same as Zion National Park's The Narrows. This is dry, so you actually get to walk through. Watch your footing. There are some areas that they've left the natural stone, so definitely make sure you watch your footing. But you're going to come across so many beautiful areas within the Sikh like this. So next up is the Treasury. Now I'm almost 100% certain this is the reason why Petra is number 2 on the 7 wonders of the world. The Treasury is gorgeous. This is not something that was built. It was actually carved into the side of the stone. And I gotta tell you, pictures do not do this place justice. Now, if you want to have those beautiful Instagram pics up above, there are trails. Unfortunately, there was one that was free that you could do on your own. And unfortunately, the Bedouins have kind of taken over that area, and now they make you pay to go up there. Now, I didn't do any of the above ones as much as I wanted to. Once I had to look up, my fear of heights kicked in, and that's just not something I was going to go through. But we still managed to get some amazing pictures. So the main trail will actually end at the trail to the monastery, but as you leave the Treasury, you're going to pass the street of facades. This is where you're actually going to find 2 other trails. One that leads to the royal tombs and the other one that leads to the high place of sacrifice. Now, if you are feeling really energetic and you've got a little pep in your step, I would suggest doing the high place of sacrifice. We had actually did quite a bit of walking the day before, so my legs were a little sore and I'm not exactly in the greatest of shape, so let's be real. I would suggest doing it. The views from there, they say, are remarkable. I have seen the pictures and the videos, and as always, it never does it justice, but it is a hard hike. I wouldn't suggest if you're not in the greatest of shapes to do it, but if you are in good shape, give it a try. Now, if you're like me and you just want to kind of easy, moderate hikes, you can do the royal tombs. Now, there's two different ways that you can actually access them. Right as you come into the Street of Facades, or further up, there's actually a more rampish style instead of doing the actual stairs. And again, the views from here are pretty spectacular. So next up is another theater, but again, each theater is got its own character, and this one definitely has beautiful character. It was carved again into the stone mountain. Just beautiful. So as you make your way a little further on the right hand side, you're actually going to come across a 450-year-old wild pistachio tree. This is a great spot if you need a little bit of shading, because again, next up on the left hand side is the Great Temple, as well as the pool and garden area. You're going to find the most important temple in Petra. This one here is called Qasar el-Bint, and again, I'm probably saying it wrong. So now you are at the end of the main trail, and this is where you're going to find the different restaurants. There's the Basin restaurant as well as the Nabatean restaurant. Maybe you want to grab yourself a tea or a coffee or a cappuccino. They have everything here. Also, maybe stock up on some water, because next up is the Monastery Trail. So the Monastery Trail is 850 steps up. This is not including any of the little trails that branch out from it. You'll also be asked again if you want to take a donkey up the trail. I would suggest, for your safety as well for the animals, to use your feet, taking your time. Stop, turn around, look at the views. There is no rush getting up here.
Wow, that's good. Wow.
So as you get to the top and you come around the bend and you see the monastery, you're gonna know that that 850 or plus steps was completely worth it. Next up, Petra at night. So one of the things that I really wanted to experience was the candle lit Treasury. It is beautiful. The trail leading down to the Treasury is all paper lit lanterns. It is really beautiful. So that is it for our adventure in Petra. And again, pictures, videos do not do it justice. I will have way more information in the blog below, so definitely check that out. And be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe, and if you feel that anyone can benefit from these videos, don't forget to share. Next week, super pumped up, we are going to explore the desert of Wadi Rum, so don't miss that. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.